So the Witcher franchise is one that has avoided me for the past few years. I always heard it was a great RPG series, but never really got into it. When I saw the reveal and trailer for Witcher 3 at E3 of 2014, I was instantly sold. I tried the first two in the meantime and never could really get into the first one. I hated it for the most part and saw the appeal of the second one, but again, just didn't feel right. I held out hope though that Witcher 3 would take the leap. And boy, were my patience rewarded. This is my review of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The events of Witcher 3 take place directly after the events of Witcher 2. And since I never beat Witcher 2, I couldn't stand the menu system in the game for one point. I had to read up on the events of Witcher 2 and the choices that could be made. You also can choose to emulate a Witcher 2 save, which if you're playing on Xbox One or PS4 is pretty damn useful. You essentially can make the choices a couple of hours in when getting interviewed before meeting with the Emperor. Sup, Tywin. Well, I have to say the story in this game is absolutely amazing. I do have some gripes with some of the choices you make regarding Ciri, and some problems regarding Geralt himself. I am going to spoil the ever-loving hell out of this game in the process, so if you want to avoid this, skip to the annotated time in the video. The choices you make regarding Ciri's ending in this game are total horseshit! Why the hell would destroying Avallac'h's life strengthen her resolve? Why would Geralt trying to cheer her up saying she doesn't have to be the best at everything be a bad thing? Why does accompanying her into the meeting with the Lodge of Sorceresses not help her when she says she wants Geralt to come with her? One that also isn't a choice but probably should be is when you can help her friend steal some horses so they can pay off their debt or some crap. You can actually end up killing them, and that must not affect her in any way because it's not one of the 5 choices that affect her ending. There are just 5 big choices in this game that affect if Ciri lives, becomes the Empress because her dad, Tywin Lannister, is the Emperor, or her fate is quote-unquote unknown. On to Geralt's problems though. The biggest problem with him is that he supposedly doesn't feel emotions, but throughout this whole game, all he is saying is how he feels love and happiness, and at the end of the game, if you get his bad ending, he shows anger and so much sorrow that he will apparently let himself be killed by fucking drowners! Geralt is supposed to show no emotion. That's one of the things with being a Witcher. He is supposed to have no emotions, but by the end of this game, he is showing more emotion than Kristen Stewart. But really, fuck this ending. This is by far the worst ending. It is essentially an insult to anyone who screwed up like me and got the bad Ciri ending, with also the bad Geralt ending. Really though, drowners. I made the joke several times playing this game when I got killed by drowners that this would be how Geralt dies. I didn't want to be right. Geralt should not be killed by drowners. That is idiotic and insulting. Why doesn't he go down getting killed by like 8 fiends or something? Make him be a badass at least. Don't let him wallow in sorrow and emotions he's not even supposed to be feeling and get killed by drowners. The story in Witcher 3 definitely is one of the most emotional stories that you will ever play in a video game. The most emotional one, or part of the story, definitely comes by the way of the fat bastard known as the Bloody Baron. Doing this side quest will bring you to tears, I guarantee it. If it doesn't, then you are a soulless bastard. Speaking of side quests though, the side quest system in this game is no doubt my favorite in a video game ever. It literally has ruined side quests for me in any other open world RPG. It's that good. Every side quest is voice acted and cinematic as if it were a main quest. One side quest in this game has 10 times the story of Destiny and means 10 times more to the overall story than in Dragon Age Inquisition. The next Elder Scrolls game needs to follow this game in terms of side quests, because this game just took side questing to a whole new level. The combat in Witcher 3 is the best combat in an action RPG I have ever seen. It really seems like the perfected version of Dark Souls combat. Yes, I have tried Dark Souls 2, and yes, there's definite input lag on that shit. You can't tell me there isn't. Combat can definitely be hard though in the early goings. But once you get the hang of casting Quen and timing dodges right, you really can break the game. Essentially just stack red mutagens, level your offensive skills while making the Quen sign your best friend, and by the end of this game, you'll be 3 or 4 shotting everything that isn't a boss. Speaking of bosses though, some are definitely easier than others. For example, the Griffin at the beginning of the game, I think is one of the harder bosses in the game. The final boss, on the other hand, Aridin, is a complete pushover. The Wild Hunt leaders really all are though. Imlerith is definitely the hardest out of all of them, but even he, on the grand scheme of things, is probably middle of the road in terms of difficulty. I think the hardest one's probably the Fiend in the Bloody Baron's side quest. One of the most rewarding feelings in this game is without a doubt the crafting system. While normally I don't like crafting that much, I'm a total loot whore. Crafting in this game is awesome. Crafting godlike swords and armor pieces in this game is one of the most kick-ass things to do. You also can go on treasure hunts for Witcher set gear that can be upgraded when finding the upgrade recipes as well. Going feline set though I think could be super game breaking because each piece has bonus attack power on it. This game also does have a ton of loot though. The skill goes from white common, blue to blue, which is also called master, yellow, which is magic, and brown, which is legendary. The sets that you can graft are green. I know there is an elephant in the room though since I am reviewing this game, so let's do a Geralt and kick its ass. I know I ranted about this game and its problems on PC. This game since then has been improved, definitely. But at the end of the game, and I mean like the last quarter of it, I started crashing like crazy. It was literally like every 15 to 30 minutes. I believe this is on NVIDIA's end though, as I will get a message saying the display driver has crashed every time it's freaking happened. These problems have since prompted me to get the game on Xbox One for my second playthrough of it. I am happy to report though that on Xbox One the game still looks damn good, and I don't even crash every 15 minutes now. In overall terms though, this game looks damn good. Yeah, it got downgraded from the jaw-dropping graphics shown at E3 2014, but it still looks fantastic. The music in this game, it's unreal how good it is. The combat theme is one of the best music pieces I think that has ever been put into a video game. And the rest of it is just icing on the cake from that. All sound effects also are really solid, and all sword hits sound nasty or have a good ping if it gets blocked. To wrap up though, this game is no doubt a contender for Game of the Year, and is by far the best game to come out since the launch of the new consoles. It blows last year's winner Dragon Age Inquisition out of the water, and all signs really point to the rest of this year being damn good too. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is going to be one of the defining games of this video game generation. Again, the game excels in every way possible, and is the best new game I have played in probably 3 or 4 years, even with its annoying story parts. CD Projekt Red, I and gamers all over the world salute you. Keep doing what you're doing and set an example for shitty devs like Bungie to make a complete game. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to playing Gwent. Oh, for the love of God. Oh.